to yourself.
It'd be riding. Y'all get off on that, but we hate that shit. Like riding does nothing for us.
Not everyone.
Wait, you don't like a girl on top?
Listen, let me tell you. Listen. I said for me. All right, for me. Fuck it.
That's my favorite.
It's two types of riding. You got women who do this fake grind thing where they just folding and bending your shit around.
Bending your shit.
They think that does something. That does something for them. That don't do shit for me. Now, if you're riding me and you know how to ride, which most women I've met don't know how to do, when you're actually going up and down, I hate to get graphic.
But you
when
just
you're
said
going
we don't
up,
have to know how.
No, you don't. But I'm talking about in the position that where you're doing the work and you're getting pleased. So that's a riding position. That's the position when a woman does the most work. And, right, ladies? Mm-hmm. That's the position. So in that position, a woman can get pleasure without the man doing anything. So we're talking about a position that requires no effort from the man. That's the riding position. We on the same page? Okay. So since we're on that position, that grinding shit they be doing, it does absolutely nothing for a man. Your shit is not supposed to go sideways, but that's what it does when she's
What kind of sex are you having, bro?
When a woman is grinding and winding on you, your shit is going like this. It's not in one position. What are you talking about? So y'all never got on, like, come on, man. Well, you only have 4 bodies.
No, we don't have to do anything, remember?
I don't know.
So now you're trying to shame me for
I'm not shaming you, sweetheart, but you don't have this.
That's exactly what
I said you only have 4 bodies, which means you don't have a lot of experience. But how is that shaming you? But how is that shaming you? But how is that shaming you? I never knocked you for it.
No. Okay, I'm gonna let you have it.
Because I'm talking about something. Hold on.
Why are we yelling?
It's about.
You only have 4 bodies, so you can't really be in the conversation.
No, I'm
you
not.
Got 4 bodies.
All right.
Like, come on.
Okay,
now.
can I respond with logic and not emotion?
Oh.
We're talking about a position that people who have sex are familiar with because they do it often.
What does that have to do with 4 bodies?
If you listen, you'll learn something. If you could be quiet.
So he says he goes.
That shit ain't rocket science. Why you being so defensive? Ain't nothing wrong with
You're the
that.
one who brought up 4 bodies.
Because it's not.
You guys should date.
Because you're.
No, we should not.
If you're not,
absolutely,
sweethart, we Gucci.
You don't think this is?
No.
You don't like what you see?
No, because it's.
You don't like what you see?
Come on, like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not interested in
All right.
Why are we bringing up people's bodies?
Because you're not listening to the context. You're just being emotional.
The makeup sex.
We're not talking about. We're not saying because you don't have sex you can't have an opinion. Get out your feelings, sweetheart. I'm not doing that. Okay. We're grown. You're here. You're invited here, so you have a great place to talk. What I'm talking about is, like, I'm not an actor, so I'm not gonna have that much to say about acting. That doesn't mean she's demeaning me by saying that. I don't have the experience. Get over yourself. What I'm talking about is, when you're having sex, I've had sex with multiple women. A lot of women, they like to get on top of you and grind. Women that have sex. Multiple, even you. Have you ever?
Don't put me in none of your shit that you got going on. Just say what you gotta say and leave me out of it. Go ahead, continue.
Anyway, when you have sex with a man, women, have you ever got on top of a man and grinded? Have you grinded on a man when you're riding him, ladies? Yes or no? Have you done that before?
I like the girl to be on top, but I want to do all the work.
I'm just saying, ladies, have y'all done that before? Have you got on top of a man and started grinding on him, as opposed to going up and down? Have you done that before?
You do a little bit of both.
Have you done it before?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Thank you. I'm not talking rocket science, bro.
I know what he's talking about.
But I feel like girls already know that this motion, without it picking up, is not doing anything for you. We know it's doing something.
Okay, so back to the point. But you brought up a position where she said she can get off without the man. It happens to be a position where we don't feel anything. So the position that we actually get off on, you do too. But the position that you get off on, only you get off on. So when I brought up the body count, it wasn't to dismiss her. It's because maybe you didn't have as many experiences, which is a great thing. So it's not knocking you for that. That's good. You have a level of purity. We don't, because my issue is we don't even need you to have a high skill set to have sex. So your body count don't even fucking matter for sex to be good from a man's perspective. You just have to be available and willing, and we most of the time will do the rest.
Okay.
What the fuck is so controversial about that?
So that kind of goes to the point that I was trying to make, though, is that. Isn't that kind of reduced? Because like when you're dating, you want them to be your life partner. That's the end goal, right? I would say for most people who are dating, they want at the end of the day
placeholder. girlfriend.
Save for later.
We're hypothetical. She's right. We're following. Go ahead.
Hypothetical.
Sorry.
You want it to be your life partner, and you want it to be your best friend. You want to marry your best friend. At least that's how I feel. A lot of people feel. That's how I feel.
Sure.
That being said, there's such a high like pressure of like body counts, and I feel like there's this weird, almost like fetishized like purity thing that you it's not okay, not weird, sorry, not
No, it's okay.
valid
You
for
think
you
it's
guys.
icky. You think it's icky. No, it's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know, but for me personally, I feel like isn't that kind of like, can you see the perspective of women when that's kind of reducing them down to, oh, well, I want to be with them versus I don't want to be with them because of like this purity.
I mean,
and you should want them as a person, right? You should fall in love with them as a person.
Let me ask you a question. Do you acknowledge that like I would argue a majority of women, so when I say majority, I mean 51% or more. I would argue 51% or more of women would not date a guy if he was shorter than her. Would you agree with that?
You think 51%?
Yeah, I think a majority of women would not date a man who's shorter than her. Most women prefer to date taller men.
I mean,
You think that's a fair statement?
I don't know. Is that an actual
you won't even
statistic?
grant it. I mean, it's
no. Like,
yes, it's
is that a statistic?
It's backed up by findings on
I want to
dating
say
apps.
I think it's true.
Yeah.
It's also
100%.
I want to say I dated a short guy for 3 years and I got made fun of for it. So
But-
that was my long
I
relationship.
also, like-
and he
we
was
love a
shorter
short
than me.
king.
Right, but again, I'm talking about majority here. So
Okay, fair.
do some women date shorter men? Yes. Do some women not care about height? Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
But so it's just like, why are women allowed to have like XYZ preference? Like y'all have, and you guys also, who's pickier, men or women?
Women.
Who's pickier?
Depends.
It depends. It depends.
It depends on the individual. But
I want to
like,
say, but it
generally
depends on the
speaking,
situation. Are they dating? Are they just fucking? Or are they
generally speaking, who's pickier, men or women?
Women.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so women have XYZ standard, XYZ preference, XYZ boundary, and so that's what's confusing to me. Like you're saying, well, why is this small little? Actually, your past promiscuity is like really important, and it's one like men don't really ask for much, but like the things we do care about tend to like matter a whole bunch. So I don't understand like why you're trying to diminish like a male preference when it comes to dating. Like, yeah, I think your promiscuity, and I can get into some of the reasons why, but I think it's actually super important.
Okay. I'm not trying to diminish it as your preference personally. I guess I am concerned with why so many men, like it's like an epidemic of men, and it's
Yeah, I'll answer it.
And also, it's not that someone prefer like you guys stated plenty of good reasons why you would value someone who has a lower body count, but what I'm talking about is the fetishizing of like, it's almost like innocence. Like I guess the reason why I feel like it gives me an ick, and you know, I've talked a lot with my other girlfriends about this, is because it gives this illusion that you're a child, almost like you've had so little like experiences that like it almost gives you an ick if a guy is turned on by that. And that's what like me and some of my girlfriends' experiences are of like what we view when a guy says that. So I guess
just so I'm clear, are you having trouble comprehending an adult woman staying a virgin past the age of 18?
No, I'm not. I have no like issue with that.
Let me ask you a question.
It's more the guy's perspective of like why that's so.
But
like,
you're trying to pathologize like sort of an innate evolutionary and biological preference of men. Also, it actually makes sense intellectually if you think about it. But let me ask you a question. What do you object to more? A man who's 30, who dates a 30-year-old virgin, because you think this is reminiscent of like a woman being a child, or a man who's 30 who dates an 18-year-old? What's more objectionable to you?
a 30-year-old man who dates a 30-year-old.
A 30-year-old man who dates a 30-year-old woman who's a virgin versus a 30-year-old man who dates an 18-year-old. I should have added this. Dates an 18-year-old who's slept with 10 men. What's more objectionable to you?
I would say, is he dating the 30-year-old because he genuinely likes her as a person.
He likes both of them as a person.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, would he date the 30-year-old over that because of the body count? That's when I feel like it becomes like a weird situation.
But I still feel like if he slept the 18-year-old, that is weird to me.
Well, we can get into the age gap stuff here in a bit, but
yeah, I can.
So hold on, it's more objectionable.
I think it seems like infantizing, I guess. Like
you mean? No, I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Infantilizing.
Yes, that word.
But you acknowledge that there are women in their like mid to late 20s who are virgins.
Yes, but are they staying virgins because of the same reason that guys are wanting virgins? I guess it's the motivation.
What
is
motivation?
Different.
I think you're thinking for us. We're telling you why men want it. It has nothing to do with keeping you as a child. It's just that there's a psychological aspect to women dealing with multiple men. We don't want to deal with that. We're not trying to control the fact that you've been with another guy and we're jealous. No, there's mental effects to women who've been with multiple men. It's not about we want you to be like a child. We're telling you right now what it is. It's the mental side effect of her inability to pair bond after a certain time. Are there women that are more evolved mentally who can thwart that? Absolutely. Are they the majority? No.
We have a chat here coming in. Oh boy. Okay. These girls have had so much love sausage that their vagine and arseholes are combined. What the fuck? Just blank faces reminiscing about when they're... What the fuck? Bro, come on, dog. I can't read that part. Thank you, Hunter Biden. That's great, Hunter Biden. Appreciate it. To add on to what he says, I said I was going to get into it, but I didn't. So when it comes to why men care about body count, there's quite a few different reasons. One is the STD component, right? And this is actually something that's ingrained in both men and women. Mm-hmm. So like obviously we want to avoid like something that could negatively impact our health. There's obviously, in addition to that, there's an intellectual level here when it comes to STDs. There's a social stigma that's attached to this. It's going to be harder to probably find it. Like imagine if you have to like disclose, by the way, you have to disclose you have herpes to are they going to walk away from you at that point? Yeah, you're going to have a more difficult time like securing a partner because of this. So like the STD component is a big thing. That's on the intellectual level, but on the evolutionary level, this is something that exists in men that doesn't exist in women, and here's why. So, there's a couple things. So, as a woman, it comes down to, I don't know if you've heard this term, paternity uncertainty. So as a woman, if you have a child, like you birth a child, there's no doubt that the child is yours. Like there's no, my husband cheated on me. No, like whoever put it, like it's your kid no matter what, whoever you sleep with. As a man, since you guys are the ones who give birth, there's no way for us to know if the child is ours. And you might say, well, okay, there's DNA tests. Yeah, but that doesn't undo hundreds of thousands of years of evolution where DNA tests were not available. So a woman who sleeps with another man, and let's assume that we sleep with the same woman at the same time, you go back, 70 years, and say a woman sleeps with 3 men at the same time, they all... You know what I'm saying. Yeah. No way to tell who the father is. And then, so it comes down to like, okay, am I going to get tricked into raising a child that's not mine? Am I going to invest my resources to raise a child? Because there's the gene is selfish. We want to survive and replicate. We want to be able to have children, have offspring. And so like, it is one of the biggest L's a guy can take in his life to raise a child that he thinks is his, but isn't. So men have like a massive disgust response. Women have it too, but to a lesser degree. Men have a huge disgust response when it comes to promiscuity in women because of this one thing. And it's just evolutionary. I know there's DNA tests, but it doesn't for example, when it comes to, who here has anxiety or has a panic attack, right? So like you can go see a psychologist and they can explain to you, oh, this is fight or flight response. they can actually they can prescribe you medication. They can explain to you, oh, there's not actually like a tiger that's about to kill you, but you still get that adrenaline dump, and then you're having like a panic attack or like anxiety. So even having an intellectual understanding of why you're like having an anxiety, it can actually help a little bit when it comes to anxiety. Like if you understand what's going on, but like it doesn't necessarily prevent people who suffer from like anxiety disorder, panic attack disorder. It doesn't necessarily like, oh, I can intellectualize why I'm having the panic attack. My panic attack disorder is now solved. It's that typically for some people that can resolve their the disorder. For most, they're going to need further intervention, other sorts of things. But so because of this, if a woman fucks a bunch of other dudes, we can't determine who the father is. Massive L for a guy. Here's an example, right? Let's say, and this is why there's a bit of a different judgment when it comes to promiscuity between men and women. So a woman, let's say this is, you go back 100 years, right? A woman who has 10 husbands, and they're all sleeping with her at the same time, right? Who's the father? You don't know. Like, there's no way to know who's the actual father. Whereas a man who has 10 wives and they're all loyal to him.
And we got to understand that double standards exist. For example, we both can earn money, but I'm expected to be a little more established than the woman. Is it fair? Can we make the argument that we have feelings too? And yeah, but the truth is, this is what it is. It's not fair, but we have double standards. Ours are economic, yours are physical. Well, that's life.
It's unfortunate too, because then it causes, men to abandon their families when they have multiple wives and kids, and that's a huge problem.
I'm not in favor of polygamy. I'm not in favor of polygamy, but
no, like what you said earlier about like the like STDs, that to me makes perfect sense, and I understand why someone would want that from that perspective. And I am listening to your second point, and I understand, like, that's where you're coming from. That being said, with so many men still being promiscuous when they're younger, and then having that double standard that we've acknowledged, is it kind of unrealistic, I suppose, to think that every guy out there should have a girl that has a super, super low body count, though? Because if guys are going out and having sex with these girls to get their experience, then where are the girls going to be?
They're giving them the number.
Yeah. Where are these girls?
Yeah. So I actually agree with you here. I 100% agree with you. There's not enough low body count women to probably go around, if that's kind of what you're saying. Yeah. So like some men are going to they're going to have to settle. Actually, well, I mean, I don't know if they would settle on this. Well, there's also some men who don't care. Some men don't care. A lot of men don't care.
Mine does not.
I'm not sure about that. You should have a conversation with him. Like, ask him. You should ask him, hey, babe, hey, Bartholomew.
Yeah.
No,
hey,
but
Bartholomew.
You know what, though? I think men will lie about this for a couple of reasons. One, he's already in a relationship with you. Two, like, sometimes it's hard to, like, once you're in a situation, can you get out of it? But I think that, and if he's trying to get you and you reveal, like, and he's trying to sleep with you, most men are not going to be like, oh, I mean, some men it'll be a deal breaker for. But like a lot of men, they're not going to pass up the chance for sex. So they'll just like, oh, whatever.